Untitled here, and I am back to talk about Star Trek Picard Season 2, Episode 10, and my thoughts on this episode. Well, it's finally over. This show is done, and I don't think it's just the show, I think it's pretty much the majority of the cast that are done, because next season is going to be just the Next Generation crew. And in this episode, they pretty much proved that, yes, they're kicking all these arseholes out. But let's get to the episode, and it was terrible. It took them 10 minutes. 10 fucking minutes to save the galaxy, basically. To save the Federation. It took them 10 minutes. This is beyond stupid. And, oh god, and there was the Borg thing, and the shield, and, oh god, so much stupidity in this episode. And it's just, like, thank fucking god that next season is the last season, because I even think CBS can't even defend this shit anymore. It's just so fucking bad to watch. And yeah, I mean, the episode was boring. The only saving grace was it just felt quick, and I'm so happy about that. It just ended quick. There was no wasting time. They just got on with it. I'll give them credit for that. But that's the only credit I'll give them. The majority of this episode was stupid and forced. And oh god. I want to say one spoiler right now. I was completely right about Lego Boy. Okay? I was right. That son of a bitch didn't die. He's back. Okay? Oh my god. It's just so fucking bad. How do you make this show and just think this is what Star Trek fans want? Like, how? It doesn't feel like I'm watching Star Trek. It doesn't feel like anything. It just feels like forced drama to forced science fiction. And it's terrible. It's terribly written. The acting is crap. And it's just a terrible show, all in all. But yeah, let's get into spoilers now. If you don't want to hear spoilers, I mean, I know I did say one spoiler, but it's a spoiler we all fucking knew was going to happen, but we're going to go into full spoilers now, so if you don't want to hear spoilers, leave in 3, 2, 1. So, the episode starts off with the gang trying to make a plan to save the Europa mission, because it's no longer Q trying to stop the mission, it's now Dr. Sun who's trying to stop the mission. Oh my... These writers don't know what they're doing with Q. They never did. Like, I think Q was brought into this show to bring back Star Trek fans, because they know Patrick Stewart is not going to bring Star Trek fans back. So they brought Q back as pretty much something to draw us. And I have to admit it worked on me because I wanted to see Q. Does it work? Has it helped this show? No, it has not. And yeah, he's just forgotten in this episode. I mean, he is in the episode, but he's completely wasted throughout this series. Completely. Anyway, so yeah, Sun's plan is to basically try to stop the Europa mission because he wants to become, the dictator of the world and blah, 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 blah. All that shit. And they pretty much decide to split up again. So Rios, Raffi and Seven will go to Sun's house, and Picard and the Watcher will go to to the landing point, or the launch point, to protect Renee. And well, Picard's not supposed to go with the Watcher, but he kind of forces his way onto a transport device. They transport to the launch place, and it's pretty much because he doesn't want to see her die, because she looks so much like his Romulan friend. So they beam to the fucking launch point. They then go looking for Renee, and the gang Seven, Rios, and Raffi go to Sun's house. When they get there, they hear Sun on the phone talking to people. Turns out it's a recording, and they find Sun's robots, because he has them. Well, they're drones, actually, exploding drones. So basically, he has a secondary plan to stop an Europa mission, which is these drones, and they need to sabotage them to make sure they don't hit the rocket and stopping the mission. Back with Picard and the Watcher. The Watcher splits up from Picard. She bumps into fucking Renee after she finds a fucking astronaut suit, and then she finds Renee and they have a little chat. It's supposed to be an emotional moment because this is them two meeting for the first time and blah 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 blah. They have a conversation. She tells Renee about all the times they've met and how proud she is of her and all that shit. Sun also gets there. Picard sees him. They try to stop him, but he forces his way to meet the astronauts. Then apparently bumps into a Renee character because this was supposed to be a surprise. When it was revealed it was the Watcher, I was not surprised at all. I knew it was that dumb bitch. But anyway, so Sun poisons Renee with a hand thing which has poison on it, and he thinks he's sabotaged the mission, so he just goes home. At this same point, Rios, Raffi and Seven manage to destroy the drones and stop Sun's secondary plan. And the way they destroyed the drones was Rios just flying the drones into each other. And that's it. And Sun thinks he's destroyed the mission. He's killed Renee, but unfortunately he hasn't, because he's killed the Watcher. And the Watcher then starts calling Picard John Luke. I mean, come on. I mean, you have her call Picard John Luke. It's obviously not fucking Renee, then, is it? They met each other for like a couple of minutes. Anyway. So this is supposed to be this bullshit of, they've killed Renee, oh my god, blah blah blah. And, well, yeah, she's dead. And then Picard, then she just turns off her, I don't know, shield thing that has her face as Renee, but it turns out it's the Watcher. The Watcher then dies in Picard's arms, and they have saved the Europa mission, basically. 10 minutes! This took 10 minutes, by the way. My god. And yeah, the Europa mission is a success. And then we have this scene with Dr. Sun watching the Europa mission succeeding, and him, pouting like a little bitch about it. And his whole place has been trashed by Rios, Raffi, and Seven. And when he sits down and is pretty much depressed, he just sees all his files getting deleted by Soji, or his daughter, whatever the fuck she's called. And I've just got to make this point. She is so crowbarred into this series. It is a fucking joke. Like, there is no point to her being in this show. None at all. I thought she would become a part of the mission to save the Europa mission. Like, she'd know something or do something. No. All she does in this episode is delete Sun's files. All of them. As punishment of him killing all of her sisters. And then we get the scene. Now, I predicted this a couple of episodes ago when I said they can't make Sun the reason for the eugenics wars. They can't. Because how the fuck could his ancestor, who again looks directly fucking like him, become a part of the fucking mission to keep the embryos safe and not to release them, if his ancestor is the fucking reason they exist in the fucking first place? But it turns out he is, because he finds a fucking file in his desk, and what the fuck do you think it has on it? It has Khan on it. Fucking Khan. It's... Oh, Christ, this is so fucking bad. So, yeah, he's the reason for the eugenics wars. He's the reason. And it just puts... Oh my... So Starfleet's just fucking stupid then. Because they put his ancestor on the team. They don't watch Star Trek. They don't. Because you would know, if you watched the Enterprise, how dumb that now looks on the Federation. And it's called Operation Khan. So, it's so dumb. It's so fucking dumb. I can't stand it. This is so forced. I'm out of this. I'm just done. This shit is just terrible. But let's get fucking Soji's story finished, because you'll never guess who shows up in this episode, because they have to end her character somehow in a nice way, so apparently Soji fans can be comfortable. And I'll give you a little hint to the people who write this show. There are no Soji fans. I couldn't give a toss about the bitch. But they need to give her an ending. So who turns up? Will fucking Wheaton. That fucking cunt. I mean, the arse licking that he gives CBS. I mean, hey, you got a little scene in Star Trek. I hope that makes you feel better, you stupid cunt. Yeah, so he explains to Soji that he's a watcher, and they have this really awkward scene with each other, which is just terrible acting and terrible, just terrible all over, where he offers her to become a watcher. She says yes, and then that's it. I think they beamed somewhere else. I was kind of, my head was in my hands, just like, this is just dumb. Anyway, so we then go back to Picard's fucking, what's it called again? Ranch, fucking winery, whatever. They're back there in Picard, Chateau Picard, and they're all pretty much planning on what the hell they're gonna do, because, you know, they're stuck in the past now because they gave their ship to a fucking Borg, and Picard just walks off on his own to put the key back where he finds it as a kid, because he's decided that instead of saving my mother, I'm going to make sure Picard, the younger Picard, finds this key and sees his mother die, because that's good. Or unlocks the door to save his mother. I don't fucking know. Again, somehow that key opens that door, kills his mother, blah, 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 blah. You know, I just couldn't give a shit. Okay? He puts the key back, and he bumps into Q. And it turns out this whole fucking thing by Q was done to make Picard remember his mother's death, and so he could face it and overcome it. I am not shitting you. That is why Q did this. Because apparently Picard has not faced up to his mother's death. Are you fucking serious? We've only just heard about Picard's fucking mum's death now. He seemed to have got over it when he was in Next Generations, when he was in the films. I think he got over it, Q. I don't think he was plagued by it. But apparently he was, and this all helped him. You know, destroying the Federation, making it a fascist dictopia. That was all so Picard could feel good about his mother's death, or overcome his mother's death. Fucking hell. You writers can't write for shit. This makes Q look like a fucking moron. And then they have a little chat with each other where Q says he's his favourite, and that yes, Q is still dying, but we don't see him die. And as I said last week, they spoilt the ending of this fucking episode, or at least the ending of this whole shit in the past thing. I knew Q was going to send them back. So Q pretty much offers to send them back to the future with a click of his hand. Because apparently he has his powers back now. I mean, they were gone for one episode, and now they're back. these writers are incompetent. They don't tell us why he's losing his powers. Oh, he's dying, but apparently now his powers are back, so don't explain how he got his powers back. These writers can't write for shit. Seriously. So he can just do his powers whenever, and they get turned off whenever. Like, fuck you, writers. Just fuck you. Oh, and there was this cringe-worthy scene between fucking Raffi and Seven, where Seven gives Raffi a nice kiss, and apparently now they're in a relationship with each other. Who the fuck knows? Who the fuck cares? And then we get the stupid scene where Raffi tries to strangle Q, and it was just so fucking ridiculous. Like, I couldn't give a shit. Oh, Raffi's so tough. Oh, she's going to try to strangle Q. Fuck off, you bitch. Anyway, she takes her hands off fucking Q, and Q's about to all send them home, and then we get the proof that this crew is not coming back next season, because Rios, and I knew that son of a bitch would either be taking a doctor with her, or he will be staying in the past. And he decides to stay in the past with his adopted family. You know, a doctor and her kid. He decides to stay, and Picard says that's fine. I mean, who gives a shit? You're not coming back next season, so yeah. I mean, again, I feel like a lot of these actors and actresses are just leaving the show because they know it's a bad show. They know it, okay? They want to leave because this is just going to nowhere. So they've kicked out Rios, which is the only decent character in this show. I mean, yeah, I hate his fucking shit with the cigar and that, but he's still better than the majority of the other lot, even Seven. So, yeah, he stayed on Earth, and then we get a whole... I'll talk about what happens to him later, but yeah, he decides to stay. And then there's this scene between Q and Picard, where Picard gives Q a massive hug. And you know what? I'll give the episode that. I did enjoy that, okay? Because they are old friends, and you did want to see him, you know, give him a hug, and, you know, they are like that with each other. And I respected that. Only that. And he clicks them back, and they're back on the ship, where the Borg Queen, who we all know is Agnes now, and Picard tells all the people to stop firing, let the bloody Borg Queen, you know, take control of all their ships. And then the Borg Queen takes off her visor and reveals it's fucking... oh, fucking hell. It's Agnes, sorry, fucking forgot the name for a second. Agnes, and Agnes then tells them why she's there. She's there to stop the wormhole event thing that's about to blow up. Because apparently, if you remember from the first episode, there were these two fucking holes that just got created out of nowhere, or these wormhole things that got created out of nowhere. And, well, the Borg have come to save this part of the universe to prove that they've changed, basically. And the Queen takes over the fleet and uses the fleet's shields to stop the explosion. And this explosion, by the way, looks stupid because it looks a lot like a massive phaser just being fired at a fleet. I thought they were going to use the shields and, you know, surround the fucking wormhole thing and let it explode, and then the shield would hold the explosion. But apparently that's not how explosions work in, you know, Picard. It's just a massive beam of energy fired out of it. Fucking shit writing. Like, it's terrible, okay? There are going to be people who watch that scene and say, oh, it looks epic with all the starships and the shields. No, really look at that episode, look at that fucking scene and just look at what the fuck this wormhole thing is doing. It's firing a fucking massive phaser at a bloody shield. That's all this was. It was dumb. And we get some fucking scenes from planets with the people looking up at the sky and shit, and you're supposed to feel like this is a massive thing that's happening. It doesn't feel like that. It feels stupid. It feels forced. Fuck this episode. Oh, and Picard gives Seven a battlefield commission because Picard can do that, and now Seven's in the Federation now. She's a part of Starfleet as a captain because Rios is not there anymore. And I'm just like, So a man can get Seven into Starfleet, but Janeway, a woman, can't. Oh, that was just so funny when I put that together. It was just like, you can now point to them and say, you literally just showed a man could do something a woman can't. And I'm just going to laugh at this scene so much if I ever watch it again. But yeah, that happens. They stop the threat, and now the Borg say this weapon has been made by an evil person somewhere else. Because now this will probably be next season's big bad guy. Because all the big bad guys just send wormholes everywhere, and I don't fucking know. It's dumb. I'm guessing this bad guy is going to be somewhat of a Trump person or something bad for the right wing, or I don't fucking know. But you know it's not going to be good. So, like, I don't know. And the Borg say they want to become part of the Federation, and that's the end of that. We don't find out if they get, accepted in the Federation. The scene just ends on Agnes. That's it. And then we go back to Earth. Oh, and there was this fucking scene where where Raffi finds out Lego Boy is alive and well, and yeah, as I said, he was never dead. He was always going to come back, and you're supposed to be surprised about that. I wasn't. I knew from episode 2 this son of a bitch was not dead. I knew from episode 2, and I'm just, it's just so fucking dumb. And then we go back to Earth, where Picard goes to his favourite bar and talks to Guinan, who then explains why she never told him any of this and just let him figure out himself, and then explains what happened to Rios, which apparently he died fighting over some supplies with a cigar in his mouth, because that's how he lived, so that's how he dies. And apparently him and his kid that he had with the fucking nurse got to know Picard's, ancestor, Renee, and they were all good friends with each other, and that's all I'm gonna say about that. I'm just, fuck it. That's what she said. So Guinan tells how Rios dies. Picard then heads off home to see his woman, or whatever the fuck she is, and then he says he loves her, blah blah blah. They end up, I think, getting together, and the episode ends. This series, this show, is a fucking joke. A fucking joke. I hate this show. I hope every actor, actress doesn't get any more work. Okay? I hope this shit is a stain on all your fucking CVs. Because this is an abomination in Star Trek. I will even go so far to say this show is worse than Discovery. That's a big thing to me, because Discovery is just that bad. But this show, it's worse. It's just 10 times worse than Discovery. There is no fucking planning with this show. There was just no focus. This was a mess. Picard was useless. This show is a joke. And thank fuck it's coming to an end. And that's the end of my review. And I think Strange New World has come out today as well, so I'll have a look at that and see if it is out. If it is, I'll do a review later on it. And yeah, I'll get on that. But that's the end of my video. If you like this video, give it a like. And if you dislike this video, give it a dislike. And if you like my content, do think about subscribing. Hail the Fandom Menace, long live CG, and fuck the Picard writers. Fuck them and fuck their lives. Bye.